today I feel in the mood to brag. I have gone to the store. I'm on my way back. I was crossing the street. Thought the light might be a little bit late, but I was okay. I'm strutting across. A Supra pulls up. Very attractive person behind the wheel of that Supra backs up. I'm taking the right, which was the easiest, which was right there. They backed up to allow me to go first. I nodded and smiled and passed. Did a little some of these. And then of course they speed past me, showing off. I am enjoying my life for the first time. I am 30. Since May, I have dressed like this to some degree, which isn't a huge change. I've just sliced up a t-shirt. These are just bike shorts. I have never worn these before. I burned my thighs in the car the first time in my entire life last week. There is a lot of debating, and I don't care what people feel about it because people are going to say what it is online anyway. So I'm here to say that there is beauty to be found in experiencing femininity when it is something that was never prescribed to you. That was something that literally you were told never to ever try to be. When there are no she's the man type movies to show you that having some underpants that are riding up for the first time in 30 years means that this juicy ass is coming in. Because that's the work that I'm doing. So I'm proud of myself to have this bit of a wedgie going on as I walk, because I didn't have one 2-3 weeks ago. So this is the first day that I'm noticing this. There is something beautiful that I see in femininity, that when I say these things to the people around me who were prescribed femininity at birth, who were forced to wear tight fitting clothing from jump, because it's not about the body as much as it's about the clothes. I could slide this down to where men's pants usually sit. I don't look that much different. I'm not that much thicker than I've been before. I've always had big legs. I've been complimented on my butt before when it is naked, when someone has already decided to see it. That person wanted to go ahead and take a look, so they backed up and waited at the light. I have never been allowed to experience that, so it is valuable to me in a way that is special, that I do not see people who have been complaining about wedgies and burning their thighs their whole lives are ever acknowledging. And that doesn't make me better than anybody. That makes me different. That means that if you have never done any of the stuff that you could have otherwise done, if you've never gone out in some basic ass cargos, some khakis, if you don't do that because you don't think you would look good doing that, you've never worn a real good fitting suit, give it a try, because you'll probably enjoy yourself. That's the point, is that we have decided what people are allowed to be. And so when someone says, I'm enjoying getting burned for the first time, people want to get mad. The point is that all human experience is valuable. Even the uncomfortable stuff, especially the uncomfortable stuff. Watch The Good Place. Especially the stuff that hurts is worth experiencing. The moments where somebody pulls their car back and then speeds off really fast. Because if that happens to you every day, I get it. That's probably very annoying. But life is full of all kinds of stuff. And so the only thing that I have to say anything about is just people who get mad when other people are able to find enjoyment in experiences that they take for granted, because thus far they have always been granted. That's nobody's fault that you feel that way. But we should examine the choices and the agency that we have as people to decide what we want to do and what we want to be. And so there are ways to be all sorts of things. And people are going to behave all sorts of ways. And we cannot control how people behave, nor how they react, because there are so many types of people who are all trying to be a handful of stereotypes of their gender expression. So be yourself, because I am happy to be able to be myself in 2026, when I grew up not really being interested in being anybody. When I think back, no, I wanted to be Kim Possible, probably first. I used to say she was my first crush. She probably was, in a way, but I wanted to be Kim Possible. I wanted to be the Powerpuff Girls. I wanted to be Spider-Man too, you know? But I wanted to be Miss Frizzle, you know? I wanted to be Jessica Day. There were people that I wanted to be, who I saw myself in, that I blocked out that access. I just said, no, that's not what I want. I just looked away, and I was just kind of bored, and I just complained about a lot of stuff. I wasn't excited to see new things, to experience new things, because what's the point? Whereas now, sometimes I just go outside, so I can get a little bit of attention, because I can do that. I've been able physically to do that from day one. But I was told not to, and I was not influenced to want to in any way, shape, or form. It was not rewarded for anything, ever. It was actively, physically violenced. If you go outside with a juicy ass and you want somebody to see it, or you look like you want somebody to see it because it's visible, and you get treated how you get treated, and people say, you're weird, so that's why they beat you. We come up with the same excuses to hurt people, to be mean to people, for all types of genders, for all types of reasons. Because the point is bioessentialism. If you've got a certain body, you should be a certain type of thing. You should have some essence that is you. And your essence needs to match up with everybody else too. Otherwise, you're doing it wrong. Otherwise, when things happen to you, they just happen. Because people are just being their essence, you know? They can't control it either. Except you can, and you're not doing what you're supposed to do. That's the point. That's the point that we perpetuate. You know, I just happen to be someone who at this point in life has no desire to alter my physical being through surgery, through medications. At this time, that might change, I don't know. But for right now, I'm content being able to see what I can do, you know? One thing I've learned, if you pack on a lot of weight, if you're kind of round, you know, if you focus on your legs and your thighs and your glutes, you'll tend to lose weight. But the muscles in your legs will get bigger at the same time that the rest of you is getting a bit smaller. And so you get kind of thick. Because that's what it is, it's fat and muscle. So if you're trying to be rounder as a person, and you happen to be born with the male body type, kind of whatever that means, because there are so many factors that go into that, you have options. You can be beautiful. You can be sexy. You can be thick. You can make people stop their cars in the street. So try it. Because you can. Because why shouldn't you? This free country and all that shit. If this is what you feel, and you're angry hearing me bragging, then what aren't you doing that you could do and has been in front of you your whole life, but you knew why you weren't gonna do it? The amount of people that say, I can never wear that. I know. And then they look at me all, because if you could, you would. And if you thought you could, you wouldn't be trying to prove it to me, would you? Be who you are. Be who you want to be. Do not be mad when other people are braver than you. Because life is gonna come with people trying to beat your ass for different stuff. And so I'm not saying don't be afraid. I am a rabbit because I am the most afraid. I burned my legs for the first time last week because I don't go places. Because I am very afraid. But I feel more confident and alive than I ever did wearing jeans every single day. Never showing my legs because I thought they were ugly. And I had the razor that I use on my head, on my face, that I used on my legs a month ago for the first time. Life is too short. That is not something that I've ever said in earnest before today. You are allowed to be everything you want to be as well. So go be those things.